This is the New York Telephone Company. You may think of it as a big corporation and an office building. In reality, it's here and in many locations like this one, where hundreds of craftspeople, members of the Communication Workers of America, serve customers by installing and repairing telephones and switchboards, by splicing cables, handling computer-based switching, and hundreds of other hands-on tasks that make the telephone an unconscious extension of our voice and thought. It was to this setting that the Rensselaerville Institute was invited by a unique labor management partnership from New York Telephone. The purpose, to test the innovation approach to getting the job done.
Innovations is a program which we, the workforce, brought to New York Telephone in a bottom-up fashion, where employees are allowed to come up with different methods or different ideas on how things should work, and allowed then to research and try those things out.
The idea that I had that innovation let me try was a pouch to...
It all begins with a training workshop in which craftspeople sit with foremen and their managers to learn a three-step process. It starts with identifying something that does not work well. It proceeds to develop a better solution. And it concludes with the critic designing a project that will test how their idea can be put to use through their personal energies.
They not only feel good about being able to make things better as far as the work process itself, it makes them feel counted, makes them feel as though they really matter, and that the changes that they can put forth are going to be listened to. The ideas that they have for a change now are going to be listened to.
But the thing that I think is so great about innovations is it really has generated an energy and an enthusiasm, not only for the people that were innovators, but the rest of the crew has said, gee, you know, it's great to be associated with something like this that we feel so good about, and we think we're doing some good things for the business, and it's making our job easier. That, in my mind, is really one of the secrets of innovations.
The message of innovation is best told by the innovators themselves. At the Watt Street Garage in Schenectady, New York, we visited with 3 innovative craftsmen.
Hi, my name's Dave Tatro, Schenectady Splicer. As a splicer, we're using the air tools, putting on cases and taking them off. The air tools we got had a ring retainer to hold the sockets on. After a day or two of using these, the rings were no longer any good, and the sockets would slide off quite easily. They would go flying. If we were in a manhole, they would many times end up in a couple inches of mud. You've got to hunt through and find them. Or if you're in the air, they fall to the ground. You've got to come down and get the darn thing straight again. My innovation was to take a 1-inch extension that has a ball retainer on it. This ball retainer holds the sockets on quite well.
The change to Dave's air wrench cost New York Telephone only $15. Since starting, Dave has not lost one socket. His increased effectiveness in time alone translates into significant annual dollar savings for the company.
My innovation is putting an air compressor on the trucks. It eliminates us from having 2 people put on the air bottle and the back problems and foot problems of dropping them and all these other little things where a person could possibly get hurt.
The compressor on Tony's truck was borrowed from another section of the company, and he's still using it today. Thanks to him, a job demanding 2 people and several trips a week to refill bottles is no longer necessary. Tony's innovation can yield a $12,000 savings per truck in the next 10 years.
I'm Dick Frost, Schenectady, New York Telephone IR. This is a V, my innovation idea to put on a ladder. I got that idea from a cable television man about a year ago, had one on his ladder. They are very satisfied with it, and I thought it would be a good idea. It replaced the upper step on the ladder, which was not very stable, had a tendency to rock. These are very stable on a pole and can also be used on the corner of a building.
Not every innovation is a new invention. In fact, most, like Dick Frost's, are moved and modified from one setting to another. His innovation is a dramatic improvement in safety for the linesman. New York Telephone now has the V bracket, on all its ladders.
One of my innovation ideas was to come up with a screwdriver that could maybe replace some of the ones we have.
As an innovations agent, it's my job to help the innovator implement their project. That can mean anything from overcoming obstacles they run into to getting them the necessary resources to complete the project. But primarily, it's to encourage them when they become frustrated. The innovator is accountable for their project, but it's nice to have someone running interference for you when you need it, and that's my job, to keep them going.
The Innovations Project really works. It makes the people feel really good about their work environment and about themselves as well. It does much more than any textbook, classroom-type training programs could ever do, because it's an action program. It's, like I said before, we can believe things, we can say things, but nothing really counts until we do things.
At the Rensselaerville Institute, we use innovation as a tool for planned change. Whether it's in very complex organizations like New York Telephone or very small ones, the principles are the same. Get quickly to those individuals who serve customers and do specific jobs, and learn not only what suggestions they have, but what energies they can apply to make change happen. In this instance, we're especially pleased that we have support from both labor and management. We're not surprised. Innovation is a way to bring together two terms, and it puts them together in a fine way: morale and productivity.
Well, I'm hoping out of all of this that innovation becomes a way of life, that everybody who has a good idea brings it up when they have the idea, they work through it, decide whether it's something they want to use or not, and move it into other places if it works out really well, through sharing of the management team in their staff meetings, or sharing of the unions and the craft people in their assorted forums. And hopefully someday it won't be known as a specific thing, it just is the way things are.